What's going on, guys? Today we are going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Creed that has been discontinued, I'm sorry to say, but somehow I snagged a sample of it. So if anybody's had it, or if anybody comes up on this kind of purchase and snags up this rare, hopefully gem, you're going to want to know how it smells if you encounter it, and I'm here to give you that exclusive look. So strap up, grab your favorite drink, and let's go for that ride.
Okay, I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You are on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Today from the house of Creed, we have Floralie. I don't know much about this fragrance, but I do know it's for women, and let's see what we can find. Rating is 4.11 out of 5, only 83 votes, so even when it was out, not that many people purchased it. We're going to find out why. Creed Floralie is a unique fragrance in partnership with Neiman Marcus department store, and that's like Saks and Fifth, Bloomingdale's, all that type of stuff. The fragrance launched in 2018 with 1,907 limited edition bottles to celebrate the year that Neiman Marcus opened its first shop in Dallas, Texas. 2.5 ounce retailed at $4.15, and 5% of the proceeds were donated to the Heart of Neiman Marcus. Okay, a charity directed to nonprofit organizations that specifically provide youth art education. Well, hey, I can get behind youth art. You know, I taught that for such a long time. A long time ago. Taught art, drawing, painting, art history, ceramics, all of that. So I can appreciate that donation. Let's just get straight into the fragrance, you know. Don't have too much. It's classified as a floral fragrance for women. So let's go ahead and do it. We are not going to be shy on the sprayer, no matter how discontinued it is, especially since it's for women. Maybe we'll throw it in a giveaway for you ladies. Get your nose on some discontinued Creed. How about that? Maybe it's probably, I would assume it's probably better than a lot of the stuff coming out these days from Creed, but let's figure this out. Really nice. It's a white, pink, floral type of vibe. I get this cleanly, airy, angelic floralness. I get sometimes a hint of soapiness. This feels very much in line with some type of CK1 mixed with something from Chanel, you know, like a Gardenia or even like a Chanel No. 5 type vibe or something. But it leans more in the direction of like a Bond No. 9 New York Flowers or YSL Libre a little bit. But this is luxury. This is a step up. I'm just trying to get your nose around it. I get mostly white florals, slightly powdery, clean, airy, fresh, even a bit soapy, but more on the clean, angelic, linen-y side. But the white florals are sweetened quite well, about a 5 out of 10 sweetness. I get the tiniest bit of like a rose watery type of feel, but pink rose, you know? I know that might not be a thing in terms of description, but I'm just trying to get your nose around it, ladies. For a floral fragrance, this feels super wearable. Doesn't feel conservative, doesn't feel vintage, doesn't feel dated. Feels very modern. And yeah, this is nice. There's even some essence of like a lot of the somewhat aldehydic old school Chanel, Guerlain's, Estee Lauder women's fragrances that can sometimes smell like toiletries or cosmetics, but this is perfectly balanced. I don't get those senses at all. Just somewhat of a nostalgic reminiscence of it, but this feels modernized because there's no weird bite or weird synthetics that get in the way of this. This is just that kind of fresh, kind of, you know, chamomile bath water, super slight powdery, clean, fresh, musky white florals, a little bit of rose water splashed in it. but very pungent fragrance. You can almost smell the petals of the flowers. Let's go ahead and switch screens here. Let's see what's actually in this bad boy. I need to get a new mouse. Lilac. Ooh. I get that. Lilac, tuberose, marigold, Bulgarian rose. Now that might seem like this is a flower basket, and it is not. It feels somewhat linear. It doesn't feel more than about a 2-flower composition, so everything's blending together very nicely to make kind of a singular character, which is nice. I know sometimes when you kind of have that basket floral feel, it feels very bouquet-ish, and the only bouquet that I've ever co-signed is kind of either New York Flowers or Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotique. But yeah, Lily of the Valley, get a ton of that. Cedar, amber, and then in the base, cedar, musk, and amber. Very musky. The cedar is very light backbone here. On skin, you know, surprisingly, you would think the amber would kind of warm and sweeten up this fragrance, which it does have a great amount of perfectly balanced sweetness, but I don't get that warmth of amber that I'm used to. This feels very musky, light, airy, almost cold even. Man, very well balanced and blended. I absolutely love this. I'm not versed enough in the florals to say what of this really sticks out, but I tend to lean to this lilac tuberose combo with a splash of rose, but a dominant musky lily of the valley white floral CK1-ish feel without the synthetic or cheap nature of CK1, which I think CK1 is a masterpiece, surprisingly. But this is such a significant elevation from it that I only want to compare it briefly so that you get a sense of that kind of white linen, fresh, powdery floral feel. It even has a bit of candiedness to it, which might be from the rose, tuberose, marigold combo, which is quite nice. That's why it kind of leans into that Byredo Bond Number 9 kind of feel, where it's got that luxury candied touch to it that makes it feel very modern, and it's not so natural that it leans vintage. This is very much modern, slight bit of futurism put into it to animate those florals. And ladies, I just think this is really nice. If you're somewhat conservative and you don't like a bombastic kind of feminine fragrance that is just so loud and is begging for attention, you're that effortless, angelic woman that is just gravitating everybody towards you from your aura, this is a perfect complement piece for that. Let's see the longevity on this. So very middle of the road. You might be lucky to get 4 or 5 hours out of a fragrance like this. Chanel. Hey, see, guys, I know something, you know. Some Issey Miyake's, Chanel, Chance. That's what I meant to say earlier. Miss Dior. Anyways. Yeah. Let me wrap up a little bit with some info for you ladies. I think it's an excellent scent. I may call it, I'll call it an 8. Significantly above average. If I was a decimal guy, I would push it somewhere between an 8 and a 9. It's not insanely signature, but it's also not basic at all. It's a somewhat basic scent profile like a Chanel, but I feel unlike Chanel, this has quite more textural components. It's very photo real in terms of the petals, but the petals are animated. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, if you're into like Estee Lauder pleasures and like simple, you know, floral, white floral, sweet touch, rose watery type of scents, Atomic Rose, this is like, feels a little bit more pungent than those because of the powder and the candiedness to it. And I think really that comes down to the floral basket approach. It just kind of builds up in the layer of, in terms of how the floral is represented here. Really love it. Really love it. I mean, I might be tempted to call it a 9, but my heart's telling me it's a high 8. Truly any season, any reason, but I'd love a light breeze with this fragrance. You know, fall would just be majestic. But yeah, any season, any reason. In a breeze, it would be very nice. Work fragrance, upscale casual. It's a effortless casual luxury fragrance. But it can be dressed up as this kind of angelic professional glorified skin scent, meaning, you know, it's so musky that you could truly smell like you just bathed in the finest of shampoos and conditioners and things like that. But this is a step above. It does feel perfumey. It just has that kind of, you know, effortless body odor of heaven type of wear to it. Yeah, really nice. Like it. Sprays on this, you know, if you're being casual with it and you don't want to be a loud person, you know, 4 to 6, ladies, you can, if you're a soft sprayer, this will definitely suit you. If you're a loud sprayer, you may have to hit the trigger finger pretty hard, you know, 6 to 8, but I feel like 4 to 6 is pretty nice for this. Longevity, you should easily get over 4 or 5 hours with it, but I feel like this kind of has like a work shift type of feel to it. You would definitely, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Let's see if I can turn my camera back on. Sometimes the cords jump me out. Give it a second to load. It'll come back. But man, this is just really nice. Really, really like it. There we go. Alternatives to this, yeah, you know, Chanel Chance, Libre, New York Flowers, Atomic Rose. Yeah, those are all great. I don't know if they're better or worse, you know, not by much. This is a Creed fragrance. This does have that vintage kind of like love that I feel Creed had with their fragrances. Their fragrances felt very much tender love and care prior to the last couple of years, where I've felt like a lot of their stuff is just reformulated and watered down and almost McDonald's out. This seems to have a bit of that old Creed draw to it in terms of professionalism and, you know, fragrance depth. Really nice, ladies. Definitely get your nose on it. Again, this was Creed's, forgot how to pronounce this, Creed's Floralie. Hopefully, maybe some people are trying to get rid of it. The bottle's absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a quick look at that before I sign off. I mean, that is just a lovely bottle to have on your shelf. Again, it was a Neiman Marcus collaboration exclusive, and it was a limited press run. But if you can ever snag this up, I think this is a hidden gem from Creed for sure. Like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Leave your comments below if you have this fragrance or if you've tried it. Ladies, we're going to look out for you a lot on this channel, especially entering into 2026. I'm going to head out for the night, but please feel free to binge all of the content. We have over 1,000 reviews now, and we are going to double or triple it in 2026, I assure you. So I got to get out of here, but I'm going to put a video on the left and right-hand side that you might be interested in to go ahead and continue your time here. And definitely make sure you stay tuned to all the amazing content and make use of that playlist button, because the whole channel is sorted like a TV guide in the playlist section. So definitely make use of that. Hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. And until next time, stay blessed. This is SB signing out.